Hi everyone, welcome or welcome back to the channel, and in this video I want to talk about creating a good foundation for a solid self-concept in confidence in each area of your life. So the first step I always recommend when it comes to creating a good sustainable self-concept and confidence in each area of our life is to look at our nervous system, and that is because through my own experience, the nervous system and stabilizing the nervous system and understanding the nervous system, it was actually how I have come to really fully understand manifestation and to understand how to embody myself into new beliefs and new affirmations that I tell myself of. So, the nervous system is important because we do hold energy within our bodies, and anyone who has watched any of my videos will know that I talk about the chakras on my journey, on how I discovered meditating on my chakras was one of the most profound experiences in my life, because I was coming into meditating before, but really all I was doing with meditating was just affirming through binaural beats. And so when I discovered the chakras, which was just over a year ago now, when I first started doing them, the first, I think it was about 6 weeks, I was experiencing symptoms of heartburn and all of these kind of things. I think you can call it like a kundalini awakening, where the surge of energy is just coming up through your spine. But since then, I actually feel the spinning wheels of the chakras anytime that I meditate, and it is a lifestyle now for me. I meditate on my chakras as much as I can throughout the weeks, and I have recently started implementing other meditation practices, like I recommended before by Sajguru, his Aisha Kriya meditation as well, because these are all meditations for well-being within the body, because we do actually hold energy within our body. And even if we are someone who hasn't experienced much traumatic things in our life, there can be a possibility that we are holding trauma from past generations, as it was discovered through 6 to 8 generations of DNA can be still held within our body as we come into our physical presence on this earth. And so that means that we can be holding a few hundred years of DNA within our body. Now, the cool thing about this is we know that through manifestation, we can change all of this through our thoughts. And when we look to epigenetics there, epigenetics says that our genes are determined by our environment, meaning that we can literally talk to the cells in our body and tell ourselves this new story of who we are and what we desire to be. And then over a period of time, we will ultimately be embodying these new affirmations and all of these things that we are doing when we are manifesting new ways in our life. So if epigenetics is telling us that we can influence our genes in this way, it means that we don't have to go on a healing journey. We don't have to go back through our past and discover where traumas and things were. All we have to do is keep our thoughts optimistic in the direction that we want to go, meaning that when negative thoughts arise, this is where our mental diet comes in. We just flip the thought into the belief of what it is that we are wanting to experience. Now, I do want to say that if you notice that you are feeling anxious or stressed through changing your beliefs, allow yourself to feel this. Don't add more trauma to the body by suppressing it down. Allow yourself to shake it out, cry it out, whatever it is that you have to do, because you are a human as well as a spirit form. And so your body is going to experience different levels of emotion because of what you are telling it. So when we are understanding the self-concept, the first thing, as I say, would be to look at the nervous system. I did find an article that said that we manifest from the nervous system, which I will link down below. So when we are looking to our nervous system, the next thing then when we are looking at our self-concept is we want to get really clear and really honest with ourselves about what it is that we fear, because fear is actually fear is a learned emotion from an experience that we had in the past. So it can come through feelings of humiliation, feelings of failure, feelings of not being good enough, not being worthy enough, all of these kind of limiting beliefs that we hold within. So when we are changing these beliefs, we write down all our fears and understanding as well too. I read this the other day from Dr. David Hawkins in the book Letting Go, and he said that the fear is it's literally just of the outcome. We're actually just fearing the emotion that we're going to experience from the outcome that we are anticipating. So let's say, for example, we are manifesting something. We are actually, if we get stressed or anxious, we're only stressed and anxious because somewhere inside of us we're fearing that feeling of not actually achieving what it is that we want, and that being our outcome. But that's not the way that it is. We got to let go of the fear. So we got to actually just face the fear, write it down, and be really, really honest with yourself so you can get really, really clear on changing these beliefs. And then when you see the fears on the page, you just turn it around to its positive counterpart. So whatever it is that you, let's say for example, you are experiencing ways in relationships that are unfavorable, write down all of your fears, anything that it is, and then just write down the positive of what it is that you want to experience. So I recently said in the previous video that if you are someone who fears rejection, write down to on the other side that I am never rejected, I am only redirected to higher levels of love. And the reason why I created this kind of analogy is because if you think about rejection, there is always an opportunity for growth. So when we're not really actually ever being rejected, because everything is coming from within us and we are just actually experiencing ourselves through subjective appearances of other humans in this reality. So rejection is just actually an inner, deeper, unconscious, self-conscious disbelief in ourselves. And so that's what we want to be looking at it in that moment. We want to be saying to ourselves, okay, well, what is the reason for this here? I need to look at another belief. I need to build myself up more, and I need to believe in myself more. And so in those moments, we're actually redirecting ourselves into higher levels of love. So that is just an example of how to change a belief in that moment. Now, when you're writing down your affirmations, write your affirmations in a way that is normal to you, in a natural, normal way that you actually speak to yourself, because apparently the subconscious mind is impressed quicker through emotion, which kind of makes sense now when you think about the nervous system, because if we hold traumas in our body of past experiences, that means that it hit the subconscious with that awful feeling that we had in our body through that. So it kind of makes sense why the emotion actually hits our subconscious quicker. So if we feel the affirmations when we are saying them, they will hit your subconscious quicker. But do understand that we are changing neural pathways. So even if we're feeling indifferent to what it is that we're saying, eventually it's going to become a belief anyway, because a belief is just a repeated thought, whether you actually have an emotion behind it or not. But we are vibrational beings, and so that is why emotion is more powerful when we are creating these affirmations, because we are telling ourselves this new story. If we're telling ourselves this new story, then we want to be embodying it as well too, and we want to be the person that we are actually telling ourselves that we are. So when we're changing a new self-concept, we look at our self-image. So I'm going to take the example here of relationship again. Look at your self-image when it comes to relationships. What has been the pattern for you so far? How do you believe yourself to be in relationships? What values do you hold? Are you trustworthy? Are you honest? Are you committed? Are you consistent? All of these kind of beliefs that you are seeing yourself as in a relationship. Then as well, you want to look at how do you think your partner sees you in a relationship as well too. Do you believe that when you are with someone that they are consistent, loyal and faithful and trustworthy as well too? Then you want to say to yourself, okay, so then you want to look outside of the relationship and you want to say to yourself, how do others see me when I'm in a relationship? Am I still able to be myself when I'm in a relationship? Do I still allow myself to be in healthy relationships? Do people still think that I am showing up for them as well too when I am in a relationship? Am I someone who disowns my friends or family when I'm in a relationship? All of these type of things you want to be looking to, and then you want to change the belief. Then that as well too, then you want to look at I know it's a lot, but then you want to look at the values as well of your beliefs around what you actually believe about society, about relationships, what you actually believe about men in relationships or women in relationships, and your whole ultimate belief system around what you think is actually possible for you when it comes to a healthy, sustainable relationship in your life. Because remember, this whole universe is experiencing itself through you, through all of us. We are all connected. We are simply just a spirit in this human avatar body, as Billy Carson, I'm going to quote there, calls it, avatar body. And we are experiencing the different parts of ourselves in others that we meet in our reality. So it's all coming from within us. So we want to be building the foundation within of a good, strong self-concept in every area of our life. So after that as well too, we want to look at all areas of our life. So this is just a thing from my own experience, from my own interpretation as well too. You just take what resonates, if it's helpful for you to actually understand changing a self-concept. Now, when we are changing a self-concept and we are wanting to impress the subconscious mind, and we do things like listen to affirmations at nighttime, EFT tapping for just tapping in the affirmations as well too, understand that when we are changing a self-concept, it's going to be foreign to our body, and so our body may experience anxiety and stress, but that is okay. It's just a transition of becoming more expansive in your consciousness. So as you do this inner work of changing your beliefs and working on your nervous system and all of those type of things, there can be sometimes you can experience these, not all the time now, but you can experience these feelings of anxiety and stress. So in these moments, you acknowledge them and don't suppress them down, because obviously we don't want to be adding more trauma to ourselves. We know that it's just our human body, and so we just accept it fully in the moment with no judgment, and we sit with it and we let it go. And we don't even have to sit with it, we can just let it go, and we can talk to ourselves in a positive way, look after ourselves, nurture ourselves, and we can do things like journaling as well too. I myself, anytime I need to process an emotion, I journal, because I find that it is helpful for just writing it all down. It's basically like a scripting thing where you just write everything you're feeling down in the moment, and then after you've done that, then it's all out there, it's let go, and you don't have to think about it again unless something comes up. But usually it normally kind of just helps you to kind of overcome what it is that you are feeling in the moment. So that is how I would look to creating a good self-concept. So we're looking at the nervous system. Remember that all of that energy that we hold within our body is so powerful. As I say, I actually can feel the wheels of the chakras moving within my body now that I am more advanced in meditating. It's a lifestyle for me, lifestyle change now for me as well too. However, if I do find myself anxious or stressed, I will do things like breath work. I would jump onto breath work, because for me that is more instant in releasing that kind of stress or anxious feeling. I do affirmations through binaural beats. I still do that as well too, just to get more clarity and focus in my mind if I'm manifesting things that I want to experience. And keeping your thoughts optimistic, obviously, as much as you can as well too. Say your affirmations out loud. You're emitting a vibrational frequency when you do that as well, and you're matching up to the desire that you are ultimately desiring to create in your life. And again, when you're changing your self-concept, look to your self-image, look to what you think about others thinking about you as well too, and just embody that new person as well. When you are wanting to come into changing your self-concept, understand that you want to be more authentic within yourself as well too. Like, just be more confident with who you are as a human being, and accept yourself exactly as you are. So if you're someone who is shy and you just feel that that is just who you are, accept that. There's nothing wrong with that, and there's nothing wrong with being too confident. There is no too confidence. You can be really confident, and there's nothing wrong with that either. Everything is just, we want to be just embodying who we truly are and accepting ourselves with no judgment, thinking optimistically, looking after our nervous system, and then manifesting all of these wonderful experiences into our life. So if you have any questions, you can comment down below. And again as well, like the video if you could, that would be great, because it apparently helps the algorithm, and we get the message out then to more people as well too. So again, thank you so much for your support, and I will chat to you soon.